Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yesterday we were talking about theme-based question. और I told you कि theme-based question ये एक ऐसा question है जो बड़ा एक recent trend चला and the Cambridge was constantly giving a theme-based question. We talked about the questions which were asked in CI exams about theme-based question yesterday. We did not go in detail of that one. What are the three themes in our syllabus? Actually, they are Allah in Himself, Allah's relation with created world, and Allah's messengers. Now, Cambridge asked different questions about theme. You might be thinking कि ये question नहीं है, ये theme-based question का reading material है. If you remember yesterday, I said that Cambridge might be saying describe how Allah has described Himself as unique. How you will get the points of God as unique? आप सूरह इखलास का reference लेंगे different. So अब उसकी development के लिए you will see this paragraph. So if you have to develop God as unique, you can take the idea from there. If you say God is merciful, we need the reference, we need the supporting points for that one. Definitely you will be using the syllabus passages, but the ideas can be taken. If you say God is the creator, this is the idea which you will use about God as a creator, but you will refer to what? The 5 passages in your syllabus. Or if the Cambridge has specified any specific passage, you will use that passage there. But to develop it, you can take the idea from there. So that is the reading material. You don't have to memorize each and everything. You just need to see if God is a sustainer, how you will explain God as a sustainer. If God is omnipotent, you know the word was used there in Ayatul Kursi actually. How you will explain it, you will take the idea. Omnipresent, present everywhere, you have to explain that point there. So this is even, you can see the eternal and absolute. Which passage is talking about God as eternal and absolute? Surah Ikhlas. So when you're talking about the theme of Surah Ikhlas, you will use this idea there and you can develop it accordingly. So that is the reading material. There are some model answers about it. This is the Cambridge oldest question about theme-based question. The first ever question which was asked about God in Himself was this one. So you can see the question is talking about Surah Al-An'am, Surah. Which surah is the first one? मैंने बता दिया Surah Al-An'am. What's the next one? 42. Surah Shura. Very good. And the next one? 4137. Surah Fussilat. Okay. 112 was I missed. Okay, sorry. 112 is Surah Ikhlas. Good. 1 second. First of all, you need to look and make sure which passage is mentioned there, and you will be focused on that passage. Which passage is missing in it, by the way? In Allah in Himself. First one, which is Ayatul Kursi. So if you write about Ayatul Kursi in that answer, you won't be credited for that. You can use Ayatul Kursi to develop any of the passages here. लेकिन आपने Ayatul Kursi पर directly नहीं लिखना. But you might be thinking कि मैंने नीचे यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है. Because I considered both questions. I chose one universal answer for both of them. Yes. देखिए अगर आप एक्स्ट्रा चीज लिखते हैं ना कैम्ब्रिज के अंदर, कैम्ब्रिज एक्स्ट्रा लिखने पे मार्क्स डिडक्ट नहीं करता, टू बी ऑनेस्ट. बट यू विल लूज, नेगेटिव मार्किंग नहीं है, बट यू विल लूज time which you have to use for other passage there. This is what some students do. Suppose, for example, you started with Surah, for example, Ayatul Kursi explanation. Ayatul Kursi is not required there, for example. You did it? So Ayatul Kursi is not required, and you are writing on Ayatul Kursi, so you will not get credited for that, but your time will be wasted there. So instead, focus on the passages which are mentioned in that specific passage. अब आप देखें 2 questions है, ऊपर वाला इसमें Ayatul Kursi नहीं है, नीचे जो question है ये common question है. So therefore, I have mentioned Ayatul Kursi here. Don't think that आपने जो Ayatul Kursi लिखी हुई है in your answer. I did it because I made a universal answer there. ये शुरू के earliest questions है, which are easy questions. You have choice to choose 4. Normally we used to ask the student to choose any 3 only. That is fine, or they can choose 4, 5. It's up to you. कोई restriction नहीं था. Gradually, the Cambridge started giving difficult questions there. What are the difficult questions which were asked afterwards? यहाँ हमारे पास एक क्वेश्चन आ जाता है, इसको छोड़ दें, अभी इसको इग्नोर करें. और ये क्वेश्चन मैंने आपको कल दिखाया था. That is one of the latest way of questions being asked, which we talked about it in the previous class also. Cambridge can give you 3 selected passages, and I told you they will remove the name Surah Naam, Fussilat, and Shura. They will just write the numbers there. You must be able to answer that question. If you are preparing this answer from my handout, I will suggest you to prepare from here. 3 passages from here. That is the theme, in simple words, the theme of Surah Al-An'am. In simple words, that's the theme of Surah Al-An'am. I said that add a supporting reference in it to make your answer stronger there. Then Surah Fussilat, this is all about Surah Fussilat. Then we have Surah Shura. If you have to prepare the 5 passages, theme-based question, 3 are explained there. And I think it's more than enough explanation there because we need to manage time. Only thing missing in my handout here is a supporting reference. And from where you will take that supporting reference? From the beginning reading material which I showed you. Okay, so you can take the idea or the reference from there and add it in it. 3 passages आपके यहाँ पे आ जाते हैं. ये question कब आया है? मई जून 2024 नॉन पाकिस्तानी वेरिएंट में आया हुआ है. पाकिस्तानी वेरिएंट में 2025 मई जून में they repeated the question. I think in October November or some October November मैंने repeat किया हुआ है. So I will show you कि ये questions repeat होते हैं. तो there is least likeliness कि आपके पेपर में question आएगा from Allah in himself, by the way. क्यों? May June 2024, October November 2025. The same question is asked almost. In Pakistani variant, the question, last question, which is asked in question number 2, paper 1, that was Allah in himself. I will show you that question also. So if you are preparing theme-based question, keep it as the last passage to be done, but don't leave it because there is no compromise, there is no risk in question number 2. Question number 2 compulsory question है, कोई risk नहीं लेना, कोई choice उसमें आपने कोशिश करें नहीं छोड़ दी. Okay, moving to the second question, which is for the remaining 2 passages, which is about Ayatul Kursi and Surah Ikhlas. And when is it asked? It is asked in October, November. By the way, Allah in himself as a whole was asked. I will show you that latest question first. Have a look at it. What's the last and the latest question about? That is the most latest question. Can you see this? This is about the last question which is there. अब यहाँ पे तो वैसे भी जो students October November में appear हुए थे, they were letting the way. Cambridge gave choices there for that. So this is something which we can expect at least likely Allah in himself के बारे में. But again, do that क्योंकि I think Cambridge is going to give you, if they will give you theme-based question, least likely अगर वो देंगे आपको 2-3 themes में से passages निकाल के देंगे, and they will ask you to write their themes. They may give you one Surah Ikhlas, they may give you one Surah Al-Kawthar or maybe something else, and they will ask you to write down the theme of that specific passage there. तो आपको कोई मुश्किल चीज नहीं, आपने उसका थीम खाली डेवलप करना है, थोड़ा सा डेप्थ उसकी बढ़ जाएगी. तो ये last question है, and the students got choices from out of 3, any 3. If they say refer to at least 3, तो आपने 3 से ज्यादा लिखना है. If they say refer to 3 of the following set passages, 3 are done. And write about the 3 properly developed. यहाँ से खाकान ने जैसे question पूछा, if someone write 5 there, for example, and your 5 are having less details there, so you will be getting less marks compared to the student who has mentioned 3 well developed there. ये आपने थोड़ा सा रूल का ख्याल रखना है, अगर आप 3 well developed करते हैं, आपको marks ज़्यादा मिलेंगे compared to a student जो 5 लिख रहा है, well developed नहीं है, उसको marks कम मिलते हैं. So you need to make sure आपका focus इसके ऊपर होना चाहिए. Cambridge gave a different suggestion for this answer, by the way. What is the different suggestion here? You can see they did not split it the answer into passage wise. What did they do? They split it the answer theme wise. अब आप इसकी थोड़ी सी मार्किंग स्कीम देखें. God's oneness 5 passages में कैसे explain हुआ है? They have written about that. Normally what we do? We say passage that speaks about God's power and attributes, right? What did they do? God's oneness is described in the following passages in this way. So what did they do? They combined the theme. Did you get the idea? इस तरह से भी आप आंसर कर सकते हैं. Can you see? एक theme, दूसरा theme, तीसरा theme, और ये 4th theme. Even I think they have mentioned 5 themes there. What did they do? They took the theme and developed with the reference to the passages there. तो आप आंसर को इस तरह से भी स्ट्रक्चर कर सकते हैं. Suppose you have 5 passages here, you chose 3 of them, or 3 of them have God as unique personality. God is uniqueness. तो आप उसको इस तरह से explain कर सकते हैं. ये भी method acceptable है, but your method of choosing one passage and explaining it is also acceptable. I will show you some transcripts. I plan to send it to you on weekend. Though we have test on Monday, but I will share a document today. और एक student का answer है. नाम डेफिनेटली उसमें नहीं रखा होता स्टूडेंट का, लेकिन ये कि उसने आंसर है और उस स्टूडेंट को कैम्ब्रिज ने मार्क्स कितने दिए हैं. दिस इज व्हाट यू विल सी एंड डिसाइड. आई विल शो यू द मार्क्स फॉर दैट स्टूडेंट इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास. So first you will plan and see, that's a theme-based question actually. So you will look at the answer of the student and then you will decide whether the student get level 3 or level 4 or possibly level 2 or whatever. One question round only I will share it with you. I will just read karna and then decide. Because when you give marks to someone, you will understand what could be the better option in that answer. Sometimes you find something good in that answer. Sometimes you find something missing in that answer. तो आपको खुद रियलाइज हो जाएगा. वो है अल्लाह एंड हिज रिलेशन विद क्रिएटेड वर्ल्ड का क्वेश्चन है, एंड इट्स अ वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन व्हिच कैम्ब्रिज गेव इन मई जून 2025. पिछले साल जो आया था तो उससे रिलेट कर रहा है वो. ओके, सो दैट इज वन थीम. फर्स्ट थीम दैट इज अल्लाह इन himself. Okay, Allah in himself might be asked in different ways. You can see few more wordings here. That is one question about God in himself. यहाँ पे भी question आपके सामने आ जाता है. That is easy, by the way, it's not that difficult. The second thing is God's relation with created world. Can you tell me the passage names in which God's relation with created world has? Surah Fatiha, Surah Nas, और सोचें. No, not Surah Fatiha. Surah Zilzal, good. Not Fussilat. Fussilat is Allah himself. We got Surah Nas, Surah Fatiha, Surah Zilzal. If I ask you what's passage number 7 in the 6, passage number 6 is Surah Fatiha. Surah Baqarah. Passage 7, Surah Baqarah is in all the themes, by the way. So you need to know which number is in first theme. First theme, Surah Baqarah, is Ayatul Kursi. Second theme is 21, 22, which is about God's relation with creation. So passage 6 in our syllabus, till passage 10 is Allah's relation with created world. Passage 6 is Surah Fatiha. Passage 7 is Surah Baqarah. Good. Passage 7 is Surah Alaq. We have to talk about Surah Alaq. Passage 8 is passage 8 is Surah Alaq. Passage 9 is Surah Zilzal, and passage 10 is Surah Na. So you need to recall these passages, and then definitely you will develop your answer accordingly. Depends on the question wording. I will show you the latest question wording which I discussed कि वो थोड़ा सा tricky था और students के marks कम क्यों हुए वो हमने कल थोड़ा सा discuss किया उसकी तरफ भी आता हूँ. This is the reading material. What type of God's relation with created world is mentioned? Did the God created this world forever? No. So you must be thinking the world is temporary. You will see that the God has just created humans or God has created something else. What are the favors God has done for the humans? कौन-कौन से favors discuss हुए हैं passages में? Knowledge, Surah Alaq का reference आ जाता है, ठीक है? Is God kind with his creations? Merciful, reference of Surah Fatiha is there. Did the God guide the people to the right path? Or told them what's right and what's wrong? वो आपके पास Surah Fatiha में again आ जाता है. Again, did the God bless the humans with rain and all of these things? वो आपके पास references आएंगे, and that is what is explained here. Did a God created some powers who are in continuous effort to create trouble for the humans? ऐसा है कुछ? Which passage is it? Surah Nas. The shaitan or the evil forces, we will talk about it. This is what we need to talk about. That Allah has declared human as his deputy in this world. And you will talk about that God has given some authorities and the powers, free will and all of these things. You can use the word predestination and decree, taqdeer also, that God has created the humans. Are they fully free, or they are fully bounded, or they have limited free will? You can talk about that one. And the people will be accountable or not accountable. आपकी development यहाँ पे आ जाएगी. अब हम आ जाते हैं passages. क्योंकि पहला question देखने. What's the difference between both questions? Look at the questions first. There is a small difference between them. Is there any difference? One question is mainly talking about part B of your answer. Mainly. Which one is it? The first one or the second one? The first one. Because first one you can see here, right, the duties of the mankind, part B, human duties to mankind towards God and the created world. So you need to focus more on part B of the passages, but part A is also required there. Second question is Allah's relation with created world. In simple word, you will use part A mainly, but somewhere part B is also required there. So you can see I have given a universal answer here, which could be used for both of them. You can use it for this one, you can use it for the second question. Look at the suggested idea. That's Surah Fatiha, the first passage. अब third passage के end में देखें, यहाँ पे third last line है. For example, you will see here, thus we should refrain, या humans should refrain. So how we will be good with the God and the created world, आपके हर passage के अंदर आएगा end पे. So if you will not write it, your answer is not complete for that specific theme, I can say, और आपकी development उसके अंदर pending होगी. Suppose right path, wrong path is discussed there. So what is our duty? What the human duty is to seek the right path and to follow it and avoid wrong path there in it. ठीक है? फिर Surah Baqarah है. Surah Baqarah is mainly related to Allah's relation with created world, is the meaning of environment. What are the blessings of Allah which were discussed here? Food, rain, rays of the sun, photosynthesis के साथ link किया जा सकता है. For example, because आपको जो four sources का food है, वो directly related किससे कर रहा है? Sunlight से कर रहा है और the rain के साथ भी कर रहा है. Surah Alaq, what are the blessings of God discussed in Surah Alaq, by the way? What are the blessings? Favors of Allah in Surah Alaq. Knowledge, actually, right? Iqra bismi rabbikal. First thing is creation. Allah created us, that's a blessing. He gave us knowledge, that's a blessing. Okay. Why I'm asking you? Because agla question is ke upar relate kar raha hai, that's why. So you can see God's favor on us. What's our duty? To seek knowledge, to act upon it, to be thankful to Allah for making us perfect. क्योंकि creator कौन है? आपको तो नहीं पता, दुनिया में जब आ रहे हैं, you are born completely perfect. Who has done that blessing on you? That's God. No one can do anything. Even the doctor sometimes cannot do anything. Maybe when he is coming in this world, completely perfect. Who is taking care of the kid? Actually, that's Allah. So that is the blessing of Allah. What the person has to do to be thankful. How to be thankful? To use the blessings which Allah has given you perfectly, eyesight, body parts, and all of these things on the right places. So this is how the person should be thankful to the God and how that person will express. Baat bache likhte hain na, we should be thankful to Allah, in part B especially. That's not complete point. How can we be thankful to God? By doing certain actions and to make the proper use of these blessings of Allah, not to waste these resources. This is what examiner is looking. फिर आप example भी दे सकते हैं. Where we normally waste it or misuse that one. Okay. Last, zilzal, not last, second last, zilzal. It's highlighting Day of Judgment. God's control is discussed here because this world is temporary. It's not forever, it's temporary, and it will end one day. And God has created this world as a test for the humans. You will develop it accordingly. और आखिर में Surah Nas है, which I was talking about Allah's absolute power, strength, and all of these things. Why I was focusing on two words, God's blessings and God's control, क्योंकि कैमरे ने यही चीज एग्जाम में सडनली दिया और वो क्वेश्चन पेपर था पिछले साल का, वो ये क्वेश्चन है.
सर
यस
सर, जो मेन थीम और इम्पोर्टेंस वाला क्वेश्चन होता है उसमें आप क्या कहते हैं, हमें कितने रेफरेंसेस लिखने चाहिए?
एक काफी है. आप क्वेश्चन 1 की बात कर रहे हैं, राइट?
यस सर.
एक enough है. I personally think one is fine, but if you have time and you can manage time more, so you can go for more than one. But normally one supporting reference makes answer complete. कैमरेज आपको इसके लिए सिर्फ 5 minutes देता है. उस 5 minutes से आपने मेन थीम आइडेंटिफाई करना है, फिर उसकी एडिशनल थीम्स लिखने हैं. Then again you are going to write about the supporting reference, so it's not easy to write a lot. If you can manage in some cases, you can, like Surah Fatiha or Ayatul Kursi में आप ज़्यादा लिख सकते हैं, but in normal cases one is enough. Okay. Even sometimes the Cambridge gives full marks in passages without reference if the student has explained well. We have some example in the cases of the students. I'm talking about question 1 right now because the question is about question 1. So question 1 में some students get 8 out of 8. I have many students who got 8 out of 8. उनकी transcripts भी हैं यहाँ पे, but they wrote references in it by the way. ठीक है, लेकिन without reference भी Cambridge marks दे देता है. लेकिन कोशिश करें एक part A में reference जरूरी है, part B में जरूरी नहीं होता. ठीक है, ये वो question था जो May June 20. Why I'm asking you about two words, God's blessings and control. अब whenever you choose any passage, for example, आपने सूरह फातिहा choose कर लिया. अब सूरह फातिहा में you will be talking about two things when you are talking about God's relation with created world. सूरह फातिहा में क्या blessings है? Kindness, merciful, ठीक है. और क्या blessing है? Guiding the people to the right path, giving the ability to choose between right and wrong. That is blessing of Allah. Control Allah ताला का कहाँ पे सूरह फातिहा के अंदर mention हुआ है? How is God's control mentioned in Surah Fatiha? सोचें, Surah Fatiha की translation आपको आती है. Is it talking about Qiyamah, the day of judgment? Maliki Yawmiddin, the Lord of the day of judgment. That's God's control. Look at Cambridge's suggested points. Can you see two paragraphs? One paragraph is mainly talking about the blessings of Allah, and the second paragraph is suggesting about the points about God's control. लेकिन दोनों में control और blessings discuss हुआ है. अब Cambridge इसमें एक और काम भी कर सकते हैं. इसी क्वेश्चन को मॉडिफाई कर दे और using the passages write about God's blessing and control of the created world and their importance. अब आपका part B भी इसमें ऐड हो जाएगा. Understand that? So you need to read the question very carefully. So right now, if you are using the model answer of the teachers and you're writing Allah and His relation with created world, एक model answer आपने लिख लिया, you will get 6 or 7 out of 10. 8, 9 पे जाने के लिए आपको इस चीज के ऊपर फोकस करना है. The examiner report speaks about that, and the Cambridge says the students tried their best, but very few of them focused on this keyword, blessings and control. So those who did it, they managed it. आपको जब मैं handout दूंगा, model answer student का share करूंगा, कोई भी passage से इसी question paper से relate कर रहा है, तो आपके पास एक mind में एक plan समझ आ जाएगा. When you will be checking it, you will be deciding if the student reached level 3 or not. तो आपको खुद पता चल जाएगा. Even you will understand many students have a question, can we use extra sheet in the paper or not? You can use the extra sheet because that student use extra sheet and that student did a mistake. I personally suggest if आप extra sheet use करते हैं, do write at the end continued on page number that. When I was going through this transcript, I was shocked why Cambridge gave marks to that student on that question which is not complete, because that student speaks about 3 passages first. The 4th passage is explained somewhere in the extra sheet. And the student did not write it. It's continued on extra sheet or something, but examiner reads each page of the answering script, by the way. And they check everything and then they finalize the marks there. So that student wrote it, but somewhere, but it is there. So how many marks the student get, you will decide it. Inshallah, I will share it and you will see about that. Surah Alaq mein dekhein, blessings and control. Same Surah Zilzal, blessings and control discussed here. And you move on further, you will find Surah Nas, blessings and control discussed here. So this is what examiner is expecting from you. You can use the teacher's handout or the notes or the main theme passages there, but try to focus on the word God, blessings, and the word God's control in your answer there and develop it accordingly. ठीक है, भले सारी theme वही लिखें, but कोशिश करें what is blessing and what is God's control, which is making impression on the examiner, and the examiner may give you higher marks there. Okay. अच्छा, अब last जो हमारे पास आ जाता है theme वो है Allah and His messengers. When we talk about Allah and His messengers, we have, अच्छा ये मैं background पे बाद में आता हूँ. Background of the surahs I will discuss it inshallah in the next class. This is a question bank on Allah's relation with created world over a period of time. सबसे ज़्यादा जो question theme based आया हुआ है CI के exam में वो Allah and His relation with created world है. It is asked over a period of time in different time years with different wordings there, but almost the answer is same and part B is same. Look at the part B's and you see the similarity in almost all the part B's here. Almost all the part B's are related to like the same expectation there. What's the part B asking? Okay, so look at the part B's here. Can you find similarity in part B and which question is repeated, the most repeated question here in part B? Check it. And the environment. That's the only thing you can see here in the first question, second question, third question, fourth question even. 1, 2, no, see, there are 3 questions here. There is one more below, but that is not focusing on that environment, but environment is asked back again. So that is from 2015 till 2023, the part B was almost same. So same answer will be there or similar points can be developed to develop that answer. The last thing here is Allah's messenger. How many messengers are discussed in our syllabus, by the way? 4 messengers. Who are the messengers who are discussed? Hazrat Isa, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Hazrat Ibrahim, and Hazrat Adam. 4, you need to know which passage is speaking about which prophet. Talking about passage number 11, it is the verses of Surah Baqarah back again, and that is Hazrat Adam alayhi salam discussion there. Okay, ये भी रह गया. मुझसे ऐसा ही रह गई मुझे देखा नहीं. Okay, so Surah Baqarah is Hazrat Adam's story. Passage number 12, which surah is it? It's Surah Al-An'am. Surah Al-An'am, it's about Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. And then we have Surah Ma'idah, which is Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. And the last 2 prophets which are left, the last 2 passages are about Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. What are the passages which are about Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Surah Kawthar and Surah Duha. Okay? We need to know their numbers also, because mainly the Cambridge gives you the number of these surahs. Surah Baqarah ka number aapko pata hai. Surah Al-An'am is passage number 6. And Surah Ma'idah is passage number 5. And then Surah Duha is 93. And Surah An-Nas is 108. Yeah, very good. Okay. All right. So these numbers are also important. Now we are moving to the stories of each prophet which is discussed here. If I talk about Hazrat Adam's story, Hazrat Adam's story is the easiest one. And for this, I will suggest you to read from here directly to save time. Hazrat Adam के ऊपर 90% जो question आता है उसकी detail यहाँ पे cover हुई है. These 2 paragraphs are talking about Allah and His relation with Hazrat Adam alayhi salam. Students write the story of Hazrat Adam alayhi salam there. That is not going to give you marks there, because Cambridge is focusing on something. They are saying that Allah's relation. How is Allah's relation discussed in that passage there? Who is teacher? Who is the student here? Who is the creator? Who is the creation here? This is what you need to talk about it. Did God give free will to Hazrat Adam alayhi salam? How did Allah alleviated Hazrat Adam's status? What did Allah do to Hazrat Adam alayhi salam that alleviated?
Angels bow down.
Allah made the angels bow down. Good, someone was saying a point from there. But why Allah asked the angels to bow down? There is a reason.
सर क्योंकि ये प्रूव करने के लिए कि इंसान अशरफुल मखलूकात
Good, but why did Allah, how Hazrat Adam's status was shown higher than the angels, by the way? What was the reason?
सर क्योंकि उनके पास वो मतलब
Free
डिवाइन
will? नहीं, Musa, your point again.
सर मैं कह रहा हूँ जो हज़रत आदम अलैहिस्सलाम को अल्लाह ने नॉलेज दी थी वो सुपीरियर
Knowledge. Allah taught Hazrat Adam alayhi salam with the names of the things and then asked the angels to tell the names of the things that they were not able to do that. Then Allah asked Hazrat Adam to take the name Hazrat Adam. That's the main reason why Allah gave the status. You can see, I think it's explained somewhere here. कि यहाँ पे आपके पास आ जाएगा. You are right, humans have higher status than the angels. You will talk about that one. What was the trial for Hazrat Adam? Shaitan. He misguided, he tried to misguide, he tried to ask him to eat the forbidden tree. You will talk about it. You can see the key point there. Did Allah teach Hazrat Adam alayhi salam the way he can seek forgiveness? What did Allah tell him? Allah taught him the dua. You can write the reference of that dua, which he made it, and then Allah forgave him as well. What it also highlights that humans will do mistake. They will commit mistake. He will talk about these points. This Hazrat Adam se related aapki story hai. It's about his creation. Instructions to the angels to bow down in front of Hazrat Adam. You can talk about Shaitan's role here. Did he bow? Did he make sajda or not? And what was his reaction? You will talk about these things. And then Allah gave the forgiveness to Hazrat Adam alayhi salam or not. What lessons we are getting from it? Ye dono paragraphs enough hai if you're preparing about Hazrat Adam's relation with Allah, Allah's relation with Hazrat Adam alayhi salam. When we move to the next person, next messenger, that is Hazrat Ibrahim. Yahan pe student mistake karte hain. When we talk about Allah's relation with Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, they start writing about his sacrifice of his son and this and that. We don't need it actually. We need to know the details of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam's search for the true God. What method he adopted to find the true God? What are the favors of Allah and Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam to find the true God? So what are the favors Allah did to Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam?
Saved him when he was thrown in the fire.
Okay, good, all right.
Sir,
Yes.
Sir, Allah gave him the knowledge regarding his creation.
Allah gave him the knowledge of the heavenly bodies. Even when he was searching for the heavenly bodies, Allah kept and a complete guidance for Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, and Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam was looking for the sources which are there, but who is in constant guidance for Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam? That is Allah. क्योंकि अगर कई दफा आपका रिसर्च नॉलेज आपको डेविएट भी कर देता है, मिसगाइड भी कर देता है, तो who is someone who keeps you on the right path? Allah. Hazrat Ibrahim searched for the true God. Allah taught him the knowledge. Allah guided him. आपको कैसे पता चलेगा? एंड पर हज़रत इब्राहिम की एक स्टेटमेंट है, ट्रांसलेशन के अंदर है. What is that translation wording? I will show you. Look at that. यहाँ पे ट्रांसलेशन का एक पार्ट छोटा सा देखें. If I look at when you saw the sun, ये पूरी ट्रांसलेशन आप देख लें, आखिर में देखें, O people, I am free from your giving partners to Allah. For me, I have set a face. Okay, that's not there. There is a wording. If my God has not guided me. Yeah, it's here above. You can look here in this. ये वाला 77 की नीचे वाली लाइन में देखें. Unless my Lord guides me, I will surely be among those who go astray. So what is Hazrat Ibrahim doing here? Showing gratitude to Allah, being thankful instead of being proud on his knowledge and all of these things. So this is the way how you will mention that God's guidance is always there with the good people. So Allah constantly guided him and told him the right understanding of these things. So ये translation वहाँ पे आपको given नहीं होगा. Definitely you will click that translation which is there in your mind, and then you will develop it accordingly. I don't know what page number was that one. Let's see. Okay, yes, we have reached the same place here. Okay. Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, Hazrat Isa alayhi salam is also discussed. What's the discussion about Hazrat Isa alayhi salam? What is the discussion there in our syllabus passages? Miracles, okay. Anything else which we can get from Hazrat Allah's relation with Hazrat Isa alayhi salam other than the miracles?
But like,
Okay, all right. Teaches us the concept of life after death. Good. Or
just conversation when he's being resurrected and stuff.
okay. Or do you think it is also teaching us about that Allah's help and support is always there with the true people? That could be discussed there as well. Like his mother, when the people were making fun of her. So Allah helped and guided Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. How did Allah help him? Allah made him able to defend the mother's character. Very good. तो ये आप वहाँ पे लिख सकते हैं वहाँ पे, ठीक है? Okay. Hazrat Isa alayhi salam पे एक दफा थोड़े से points देख लेते हैं. This is about Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. Miracles are no doubt the core part here. You should know the miracles of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. There are 5 to 6 miracles which are mentioned here to cure the blind by birth. The person who is born blind, he used to cure him, and that person was able to see when Hazrat Isa alayhi salam just moved his face, a hand on his face. Then to cure the leprosy, the person who is a leper, that's another thing. The third thing is blindness. I told blindness is, he used to make the dead person alive, and he used to go to that person and ask him to stand up in the name of Allah, Qum bi'iznillah, and that dead person used to speak to the people. He spoke when he was a baby. Fifth one, Allah blessed him with Bible, Injil.
Miraculous birth, he was born.
Miraculous birth means how good. The way he was born, good. Miraculous birth. There are 2 more. Gospel, yes, good. Or what's missing?
He got Islam.
He will be resurrected. Yeah, Allah saved him and protecting him, took him to the heavens. One which is not mentioned in this passage, that is Hazrat Isa can tell the people what did they eat at home. That is also Hazrat Isa's miracle, which is not mentioned in that passage. It's there in another passage of the Quran. तो आप इसको वहाँ पे develop कर सकते हैं. ठीक हो गया? Clear है? Last 2 passages are about Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I will not go in detail of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's 2 passages today, because there is a reason. I will be discussing about the background of Surah Kawthar and the background of Surah Doha in the next class. So when we will be talking about the background of Surah Kawthar and Surah Doha, we will be discussing about the theme of that passage indirectly in it. तो वो हमारी next discussion का part होगा, और वो अगले में आ जाएगा background. There are 5 passages whose backgrounds are important. तो उसमें से 2 passages यही हैं, last वाले. I will come to that discussion later. पहले questions देख लें which are asked about Allah's relation with the messengers here. They are the questions. This is one model question. Leave it. I will show you more questions after that and that. This is the question bank of 10 mark questions which are asked about Allah's relation with the messenger. आप एक दफा इन questions को देखें. If you find any of the questions you are unable to answer after the discussion, brief discussion about the messenger, so just have a look at it. And I will ask you 1 or 2 things in it. एक जैसे कहीं पे कहाँ 2 messengers लिखने, कहाँ पे 2 से ज़्यादा लिखने, even you need to understand it from there as well. Just have a look at it. I will give you 1 minute to look at the questions here. और ये I think मैंने sequence में ही इसको arrange किया है according to the years they were asked. So starting with the first one is the oldest question, I think. Then gradually the Cambridge started making changes in the expectation. Then I will show you what is asked very recently about messengers. Keep in mind the possible question could be by chance 1 prophet only also. Okay, and if the only 1 prophet is asked in exam, that could be either Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, if they ask you. So you need to keep in mind that you must be able to expand Allah's relation with specific messenger to that level. और वो develop हो सकता है. आपने एक general paragraph बनाना, अभी तक ऐसा नहीं आया. The least thing which is asked is 2 prophets by the way. So you can see either all the 4 prophets or 3 prophets or 2 prophets only. There is no question on 1 prophet, but you can expect 1 prophet only, but that will be only Hazrat Adam or Holy Prophet, not more than that. Hazrat Isa पे आपके शायद question नहीं बनता, Hazrat Ibrahim पे भी नहीं बनता. लेकिन if it's there, don't worry, you can manage the details जो आपको यहाँ पे मिल रही हैं. बिल्कुल latest question जो भी आया हुआ exam के अंदर about Allah's relation with messengers में वो ये question है. ये आप expect कर सकते हैं अपने paper के अंदर. If you have to think कि आपके paper में theme based question की likeliness है, वो Allah's relation with messenger है, तो I must say when you are preparing the compulsory question and you are having confusion or difficulty in theme based questions, don't skip Allah's relation with messenger. There is a big chance अगर themes में आएगा तो वही है. तो ये आसान है. ये Cambridge का latest question. It was asked in non-Pakistani variant in May June 2025, and this is restricted to Isa and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can expect Ibrahim, Adam. What else is left? Yeah, Hazrat Adam or Ibrahim in your paper. It's possible. Like I showed you the question very there, so you can expect a very similar question for you. The Cambridge has explained it very well. Look at this as the Isa's discussion. I was telling you it's not just miracles. You will see something more than the miracle here. And then this is the discussion about Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. More than enough information is there. If you just read that part, you will see a model themes. This is marking scheme, by the way. So you can imagine how much details Cambridge is expecting from you in exams there. But if someone writes this only as it is, I can assure you, you can get 6 or 7 surely out of 10 by the way. What's missing in it? The supporting references. The supporting references are needed in it. If you add the supporting reference, it's a complete answer. You don't have to worry for any other source afterwards. Okay? So, kam likhna, relevant likhna, better likhna is giving more marks sometimes. Structured now non-structured answers के मुकाबले में ये ज़्यादा अच्छी आपके पास option होती है. So this is about Hazrat Isa alayhi salam and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can expect Hazrat Adam and Hazrat Ibrahim for you. Already वहाँ पे handout में आप वहाँ से ideas को ले सकते हैं. ठीक है? और part B is mostly it's about dealing with the difficult issues जो हमारी routine life में वो आपने ज़्यादातर part B के अंदर क्या करना होता है, relate करना होता है. और मैं एक मिनट चेक कर लूं if I have missed anything here. ये part B's हैं mostly. Why did God send the revelation through messengers? Then we have yes. Third one, this one. From the Quran passages you have studied, right? What lessons? Good question. अब ये देखें. Third question के ऊपर थोड़ा सा गौर करें. What lessons Muslims can learn? So your focus will be on somewhere part B. When you talk about Hazrat Allah's love or care for the messengers, so part B साथ develop होगा कि humans realize today that God is always with those who are on the right path. God supports. ये आपने हर teaching के साथ relate करना है. या इसी तरह से अगर आप यहाँ पे हजरत ईसा के लिए miracles हैं या mother को protect करना तो आप realize कर सकते हैं कि Muslims today should learn. So you are using part B with it also. So you will write the main theme and part B connected with it. So if you are taking out any teaching connected, so very good. Even I did not see that wording. Okay, what lessons can be learned? So you are talking about the teachings connected with the daily life. So this is what we need. So part B wording is going to be there. तो आपने इसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा गौर करते हैं. अब यहाँ पे आप देखें, ये भी मुझसे एक स्टूडेंट क्वेश्चन डिस्कस कर रहा था कि सर how God guided या how God gave knowledge to the messengers. उसमें थोड़ा सा आपको डिटेल डिफरेंटली डेवलप करनी होती है. अगर मैं आपसे कहता हूँ ना Allah's relation with created world, Allah's relation with messengers, that's an easy question. But if I say how God guided his messengers, so your development will be a little bit different there. So you need to focus on God's guidance at different occasions. Like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam को cave of Hira से आप relate कर सकते हैं और different occasions के साथ तो examiner आपके answer को link कर रहा होता है. By the way, इनमें से एक question के अंदर सूरह अलग भी Cambridge ने add की भी, बल्कि ये देखें. I was talking about that one. Even I was thinking, oh, why did the Cambridge add surah Alaq in it? They added surah Alaq in it, by the way. Can you see the last passage here? Surah Iqra, relation with the first Wahi event, right? So that is the first passage number 8 of your syllabus. So you can use it in that case because it's somewhere linked to how Allah supported or helped his messenger there. तो वो surah Alaq first Wahi का event भी है, giving knowledge के अंदर relate होता है. Passage 8 यहाँ use कर सकते हैं क्योंकि it's somewhere linked with it. Okay, so done for today. Inshallah.